Hello, welcome to the final match in the Allies tournament. This one is against Mollo8. The Kingdom here has one card that we haven't seen from Allies yet. It is the ally itself, the Gang of Pickpockets. At the start of your turn, discard down to 4 unless you spend a favor. So it keeps attacking you unless and you can block the attack if you have favors. Is how to read that, I think. So there you see Gang of Pickpockets. I look at contract. I look at the kingdom here. There is no trashing outside of mint. I would like to mint all my coppers away, but how is that happening? I don't see how you do that. Pickpockets, you see how it's implemented here. It doesn't matter on the opening because you always have the favor, so you can prevent getting knocked down from 5. I have 3, 4, so it doesn't matter. Mollo opens with a vassal. I follow them. They open with a merchant camp. I didn't quite like the merchant camp. On 4 here, this could be ironworks to gain lots of market squares to go after the peddlers. That is an option. Tormentor here, there is draw in Tormentor. So that is also something you should keep in mind. The vassal was to try to get the Tormentor early. And what to pair it with, I think the ironworks is best. And I do get the ironworks here. Alright, so let's see how turns 3 and 4 play out. Mollo gets up to 5, so they get the Tormentor straight away. Very good for them. 3 is going to be market square for me, angling for the peddlers. And I miss 5 here, which is sad. Maybe I'll get it on the next shuffle, but that is already too late. You only get the imp from the Tormentor when it's the first card in play. By the time I buy it on the, third shuffle now, I'll have so many cards in play. It'll be very difficult for me to gain an imp, I feel. I do get up to 4. I could buy a peddler here, but I decided to stick with the market square plans and probably try to buy half the pile at once they cost 0. Mollo goes ahead, picks up a peddler there. It could have gone for a market square just like I did, but they opted for the peddler instead. Maybe I get to 5 here, another market square for me. Nope, we miss 5 again, so still no Tormentor. For me, same decision as last turn, actually, market square or peddler. And I think market square is better. So I get the market square. They get an imp, which is critical in this game. Very, very good card. Market squares almost net me 3 peddlers. Not quite. But I did have enough money to pick 2 of them up and trigger the shuffle. Another 5 for Mollo is going to be a contract. That is how you get favors here to block pickpockets. So far, none of us have had the cause or the need to block with to block the pickpockets. But I understand the contract. It does get in the way of the vassal a little bit, but I think the favor is worth more than risking some ridiculous vassal collision here. Alright, so again, 4 and 2 buys, only 2 actions in play. I opt just for a peddler here. I want this shuffle to be full of peddlers as much as possible. Hopefully I can get the goons shortly after that. Very important card to get in the kingdom. Mollo strings together a great turn, and you see what they led with there, the imp, right? That extra 2 cards gave them the extra to get many peddlers and whatever cards they wanted. Note that they do not have an ironworks. They do not have an ironworks. I do have the ironworks, so I have quite a few more market squares, and that pays off finally here on turn 8 for me there. I am able to grab a lot of peddlers. They get a second imp and another market square. Piles are lowering, but there's no third pile in danger of emptying anytime soon, I think. So here, now I start to make some interesting, perhaps questionable plays. I got a merchant camp here. I have some thoughts of perhaps getting a double goons turn. I would need actions to pull that off. So I get the merchant camp for that purpose, and I get enough money for my first goons. Mollo got goons the turn before me, and they see it straight away here. Able to buy another goons and another market square. We get a second goons ourselves, reshuffle, and we are a little bit behind. We have no imps compared to them, no tormentor either, and they have a couple extra points ahead of me. I have the peddlers as my advantage, so we'll see. I also have an ironworks, so some gain is possible. Alright, so we find one goons, which is helpful. And here I had a think. I had a deep think. And the deep think was about how to proceed from here. One line is to angle for a pile out on the estates. I have the ironworks, for instance. I have more market squares than them and more peddlers than them. So I have the buys from the market squares. I have potentially more money on our turn because of the peddlers from them. So I could go for triple estate there and then pass it back to Mollo and say, over to you. How would you like to proceed from here? Would you like to follow in the estate pile, or would you like to build? The other option is the one I chose here, which is to build for one more shuffle and then hit the green. A little bit dicey with two piles empty, and potentially, Mollo could target the estates just like I wanted to, or I considered on this turn. So I may not get around to see that goons and make any use of it. But I decided to build. So let's see what happens here now. Contract comes out for them. They stored a market square. And they're able to put two goons in play. That's a bit sad to see. They can score a lot of points here, but they opt to build as well, collecting another contract. I go for another merchant camp because of my third goons in the deck, and I find that goons opt to play that instead of the vassal. I don't know what that vassal will hit. Fourth goons for me now. Alright, over to Mollo. They have a nice turn with two imps connecting here. Tormentor, that hex doesn't do much to me, and they have 10 now and 3 buys. They go for a goons and a merchant camp. Alright, so it looks like both of us have decided to build at least for one more shuffle. So Mollo just reshuffled. I will reshuffle here. Now 6 here. I don't want to get a goons here. Then there'll just be 2 goons left. They have a points lead, so perhaps it's not wise to leave the goons pile that thin. I instead opt for a tormentor. Alright, so now this is where the end game starts, I believe. Mollo has a good turn. They see an imp. Funny how all the good turns start with imp. This hex is annoying. That is very, very annoying. It stunts my turn here. And look at the position they are in now. They had a great turn. They saw most of their market squares and imp are goons. 5 buys, 11 coin. That is, if they want 5 estates with our goons in play. And then that is a very difficult position for me to climb out of. They opt for something different though, so they go for lots of merchant camps and a single estate and some copper. They want to score like that, which seems to be a mid-ground kind of play where they build, gain some points from the goons while they build, and then also score green cards and yellow cards for points. Perhaps the 5 estates was better than that. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, now the merchant camp pile is very, very thin. I have this rubbish draw because of that hex from the tormentor. 6 and 2 buys. All I can do is pick up a duchy and pass it back. Not a great draw for me here. Mollo sees the imp. and another goons, and they get another merchant camp. Again, that could have been double estate if they wanted. But now I have to hope to try and string together a decent turn where I could get some number of estates with our goons in play to score heavily that way. I start on the estates here. I mean, if they get 5 estates, they get it, right? I can't do anything about that, and I probably lose to that anyway. And either way, merchant camp is probably a thinner pile than the estates at this point. So this is very, very, very sad. This was the kind of hand I was looking forward to after making my deck full of peddlers and market squares and goons, and now I have to choose here. That is very, very sad. They get a couple of estates, and my hand gets cut so badly here. Lose out on a lot of payload because of that. I cannot really touch the estates. I can't even buy a duchy. We are looking down the barrel of a loss here. I'm just scoring as best as possible and hope that they don't get the money, but yeah, there it is. And there is game 1 over to Mollo8. So I did have that decision where I could have gone for the estates at that point. Maybe I should have. You tell me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.